missiles, and they worked towards developing nuclear bombs for the purpose of eliminating Israel, but they couldn't do that. As a head of the Israeli government, I have conducted overt and covert operations that delayed Iran's building capabilities, and we have developed our technology and military capabilities and political capabilities to direct strong blows against Iran and to eliminate the threats against Israel. All these elements contributed to the previous operation, and now the Lion's Roar operation, and we will continue striking the axis of evil. However, their capabilities have deteriorated a lot. We shall continue this battle to ensure security for the citizens of Israel, particularly residents of the north. Now, Hezbollah is feeling our might, and they will pay a hefty price for their aggressions against Israel. We have breached the borders, and we have managed to strike Hezbollah's missile arsenal as well as Iran, and we have attacked Iran's nuclear program and the Iranian nuclear scientists who were working towards developing bombs to target Israel, and now we have conducted more of such attacks. In this operation, we have warned Khamenei that if they work to continue developing the regime of death, we will attack them. They didn't listen to us. Not only that, but rather he led an operation that would restore their nuclear and missile capabilities, and they are burying it very deep under the ground. If we hadn't acted quickly and within months, the Iranian death industry would have been immune of any attacks. That's why the United States and Israel together work together in this battle in order to continue our endeavor to prevent Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon and prevent them from developing missiles that threaten Israel and the entire world. In short period of time, we managed to kill Khamenei and many leaders of the regime. We have killed the previous dictator and the existing dictator Mojtaba and their leaderships. We will continue attacking them and targeting them. We will continue targeting their missiles and launching pads and all their oppression apparatus of the regime. We also work towards another objective is to create the conditions for the Iranian people to expel this brutal regime that has been oppressing them for many years in the streets and in the periphery. And I say unto the Iranian people, the moment that you start your journey towards freedom, this moment is getting closer. We are standing by your side and we will support. However, at the end of the day, it's up to you. This is in your hands. As of now, we can say clearly that without Iran, the Middle East would be different, and Israel will not be the same. We take the initiative and we attack strongly in an unprecedented force. We have created an unprecedented alliance with the United States, with my personal friend, President Donald Trump. We talk every day. And we focus, we share ideas, and we consult with each other, and we decide together. President Trump told me something I would like to share with you, that the relationships between us is 100-fold stronger than it was with previous presidents. And even with previous government heads in Israel, we are thinking of this generation and future generations. In these days, my team and I, we are forging alliances in the region. Such alliances wouldn't have been possible in the past, but now we are doing our best to achieve that. And due to the huge force and power we have built, and due to your fortitude, you, the people of Israel, I know that you are complying with the home front instructions, and I know that you go to your shelters over and over again. I know the situation is hard and difficult, as well as in the north, but through this you save lives and you give us more support and to the forces of Israel and the security apparatus in order to prevail in this battle. President Trump has told me that this is unlike any operation in the world. How can you have such resilience in Israel? Where do you get this force from in Israel? And I told him that this is the secret of our success. This is our deep-seated belief of victory and to establish security in Israel. Questions? You have announced that this battle to be a victory. Will this repeat after this operation? Answer. Is your objective to topple the regime, and would that constitute a victory? Answer. I said this explicitly. We will attack the regime and to destroy their nuclear program and their missile systems. These objectives we must achieve. I have added another objective, namely to create these needed circumstances and the conditions for the Iranian regime to get rid of this obnoxious regime. I have told them moments ago that this is up to the Iranians. They are the ones who can do this. We can't compel them to do that. However, we create the conducive conditions, be it by aerial strikes like we did yesterday and like we continue to do nowadays. That's why we are providing them the opportunity to take to the streets. This is our objective. On the other hand, we are striking this regime through the Tigris operation. We will continue that, but we were hoping that Khamenei, who's no longer with us, we were hoping that he would listen to the warnings of President Trump and my warnings, and we had said that we would never allow them to develop the capabilities that threaten us existentially, and we are working towards that end. You have said that Khamenei is incapable of appearing to the masses. What is his fate, and what's the fate of Naim Qassem, and what is happening with the nuclear weapons development and the enriched uranium that they have? Answer. If I was an insurance agent, I wouldn't issue them life insurance to these two individuals. And I wouldn't share with you what we will do to these two individuals. With regards to the question about the nuclear capabilities, I have said that we have attacked their nuclear infrastructure and we have assassinated a big nuclear scientist of Iran. Your other question is about the fate of Khamenei and Naim Qassem. I have given you my answer. But it sounds to me as if you are asking what will happen at the end of this battle. I believe there will be surprises, and I am required to maintain some combat fogginess in this press conference. But what I can share with you is that we have the upper hand much more than we anticipated, and we will achieve all our objectives. After the previous battle, you have said that Israel wouldn't allow Hezbollah to rebuild their capabilities. And you have said that we have set Hezbollah 20 years back. Is it possible that you should have that you shouldn't have made those statements in front of the Israeli people who are enduring this? My second question is, do you agree with Trump when he says that President Herzl is a disgrace, and he calls upon the Israeli people to boycott the president? I will answer both questions. First of all, my heart is with the residents of the north. You have heard what happened in the Matalla town at the border, and you hear what is happening to the northern borders, and we will do everything we can in reasonably and strongly to eliminate all the threats. Previously, I have said that we have eliminated a big threat that doesn't threaten the residents of the north only, but rather the entire state of Israel. And today you say that Hezbollah continues to be capable to attack us. Back then we were talking about destruction of high-rise buildings in Tel Aviv and razing cities to the ground in Greater Israel, and we were talking about expectations of 220,000 killed, but none of this has happened because we have attacked them strongly, and not because we have eliminated their capabilities 100%. But rather, what I promise you is that we are engaging in negotiations and deliberations in order to act upon them. Threats come and go, but we are capable to amplify our capabilities and strength. We were facing an Iranian ballistic and nuclear threats. No one knows, and no one know how many lives could have been taken because of that. Iran was regarded as the biggest threat in the world, and now we can't compare Iran back then with what has Iran become now, nor what was Hezbollah in the past and how is it today. They are much weaker than they have been before. I have promised you that we will change the entire Middle East, be it in terms of enemies and friends, and Israel much stronger than ever. Everyone recognizing that, and our neighbors, both enemies and friends, recognize this fact. You have asked me about President Trump. I don't want to comment about the statements of any American president. When you pose such a question, President Biden once said that he wanted to interfere in the judicial reforms back then, and I'm wondering, why didn't you ask such a question back then? I know that Donald Trump listens and he talks spontaneously, and he believes and that there is some sort of political fishing in murky waters, and many people try to exploit the current circumstances. This exploitation of the circumstances and the condition and everything that is being exercised against me, looking for minute little things and using espionage software against thousands of Israeli people. How could this happen in a free nation? This is not a law, but rather a breach of the law. President Trump may say whatever he wants to say. I'm not responsible for his words. and you can make your own judgment whether he's talking from his heart or not. And I'm saying that he was talking from his heart. Question: does Israel work towards arming oppositions in Iran? And have you asked President Trump to discuss the exemptions or the amnesty? I have never asked this from him in the past, nor now. Categorically, and many witnesses can testify to that. My question: are you working towards arming oppositions in Iran, and what are the implications if the Iranian regime is not ousted? You have said that the military effort wouldn't succeed in toppling the regime in Iran. I do not deny, and that I don't deny that I can say 100% that the regime can be toppled without the Iranian people's efforts, and we have informed them, we have told them that help is on the way. What will happen at the end of the day, I can't tell you, I will not tell you. We know, we hope, and we know that you also hope that this regime would fall. If the regime doesn't fall, it would be much weaker. But if it falls, then the problem would be solved. But Iran is no longer Iran of the past. Iran is no longer that big nation, that regional strong arm. We are working against Iran in many ways, and in ways that would be revealed at a later stage. And I can say that Israel is much stronger, much greater than it has been in the past. We need to recognize this. And I believe we all recognize the fact that we will reach to the kingdom. We will make it to the return of the Messiah, but this will not happen next Thursday. The lives of nations is always precarious and surrounded with threats. Our survival, our endurance is a result of alliances that we forge for our existence to be stronger. No doubt we are moving from one battle to another, from the establishment, and with this battle now, with this operation, Israel has become stronger than ever. On October 7th, they thought that this would be our end, but we are, with thanks and credit to our efforts, due to the technological capabilities, our pilots and our ground crew and the civil society, we constitute a superpower. And I'm saying that the unique capability and conviction of the Israeli people that is evident to the entire world actually shapes our future. We can ensure our future due to this strength, this great strength, our spiritual strength and physical strength. This would ensure good days in the future for us.
השילוב הזה מבטיח את עתידנו, ואני חושב שזה מבטיח לנו ימים מאוד מאוד טובים בהמשך.
With regards to Lebanon,
ערב טוב, ראש הממשלה. שאלה ראשונה בנוגע ללבנון.
Are you planning to occupy territories permanently in Lebanon? Another question, you spoke about your cordial relations with President Trump and that you talk with each other freely. Have you provided him any idea about the insults that he directed to President Herzl, calling him a disgrace to Israel with regards to... answer with regards to Lebanon. We told the Lebanese government that you are playing with fire. If you continue to allow Israel to act without disarming Hezbollah, it means that you have committed that you are writing your own fate with your own hands. And if you don't do that, we will do that. How to do that on the ground, with the land, without the land, with other means, I'm not going into details about this, but I promise you that we will make Hezbollah pay a heavy price. And I'm asking the Lebanese government to take the lead on this matter and to take such a step. If they fail to do so, they would leave us no other choice. With regards to my communication with President Trump, I talk with respect to all presidents, including President Herzl. But I believe this is not the time for such judgments, making judgments. This is a political chase. This should be conducted after the war. Maybe this is something we could have done. And 3 years ago, the judges said there is no evidence to bribery. I have received a Bugs Bunny doll and a pack of cigars from a friend. I am being prosecuted for this as if it was a big deal. However, all the evidence, all presidents and ambassadors, they testified in the court and they said, we can't believe what we are seeing. They wouldn't do this towards regular citizens. They are exercising this against me in order to oust my right-wing government, which I am leading. The president needs to have the right, and the right thing that he needs to do today. We need to put an end to this circus. I need to be given time and give the people time, give us enough time to defeat our enemies and to create tremendous opportunities for peace, prosperity, and regional alliances. And these are major issues. At this moment, I want to dedicate my entire time for these matters. Mr. Prime Minister, you have said over and over that there are no guarantees that the Iranian regime would fall. Do you believe this is a failure on the war, on the part of the war? When we talk about on the ground, you said that we need to be prepared for future rounds in the future. And this happened as well last June. Majority of the Israeli people recognize what we are facing. They have the ability to stand fast, and they recognize the hardships and difficulties that we are facing, be it going to the shelters and safe places. Over 40 years, a regime in Iran has developed and was established, a terrorist regime, and we are trying to prevent this regime from continuing to exist. It's a question that we need to ask ourselves every day, every moment. Why do we do this? We do this because we are infused with this force of life with the Israeli people, our desire, our ability, and our conviction that we will not be eliminated, we will not be eradicated, our ability to return to our land and to renew ourselves, to chase our enemies. And if we had to strike our enemies over and over again, we will do that. Our enemies keep changing. Now we we have peaceful relations. We can't believe that it would be possible in the past. I have talked to dozens of heads of states during the war. I am not focused only on managing the battle, but I am managing the political battle as well. I'm talking to heads of states who are astonished by our might and our strength. They want to become closer with us. They want to be our friends. We are living in this brutal surroundings named the Middle East. Many countries they want to advance and progress, and other countries they want to regress back to the medieval ages. We are not saying it's in Switzerland. Things are happening in Switzerland now. Extreme Islam, both Sunni and Shi'i, is a threat to the entire world. We can't say that this would solve itself. We continue to strike our enemies over and over again. But how can we compare this time with the past? You say all the time what happened and why. Look at the successes that we are achieving. We have killed that dictator. For 47 years he has been calling for our elimination, and all the officials of that regime, we have eliminated them. Their nuclear and missile systems have been eradicated. The world sees our military, sees our people, and the world is seeing our government and our ability to stand fast and to achieve such accomplishments. I was considering such difficulties and challenges on our way. I am going to send the aid and the support to the Northern Front, to our people in the north. We are exercising this effort, and we continue to do this effort, but we have to believe in our ability, our capacity, our achievements, our potential, and in our spirit. This is what I'm saying unto you. We are in the midst of a war, and we are progressing towards achieving our objectives. Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister. You said that the conscription law is the beginning of a historic course that would lead to massive recruitment and conscription of Haredim citizens. The other minister, she called for sanctions. Do you support her position? Could you repeat the first question, please? You have declared that the law of conscription is the beginning, the conscription of the Haredim, that you are abandoning at the midst of the war? Or is your interest is very narrow political interest? Answer, we have put aside all our constitutional plans, and now we are focused on one thing only, namely security. We will allocate a security budget of hundreds of billions in order to secure and provide ammunition for this war. The problem is that there might have been differences in the parliament naturally. As is familiar to you, they say that we will support the budget.
Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu giving his first press conference since the start of the war with Iran. He said that Hezbollah will pay a heavy price for its aggression, that Israel will continue to attack the Iranian leadership and create the conditions for the Iranian people to expel, quote, the brutal regime. Asked about the new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, in Iran and Hezbollah's leader, he said that I wouldn't take out life insurance on those leaders. Iran, he said, is no longer the same Iran. We've dealt heavy blows to Iran's Revolutionary Guard. Let's bring in Al Jazeera's Nour, who's live for us in Ramallah. in the occupied West Bank. What were the key takeaways for you from what you heard there, Nour?
Well, Adrian, Benjamin Netanyahu faced all the issues that he's trying to run away with. He was asked about his statement in 2024 that military strikes against Hezbollah has set back the group 20 years. He dodged that question. He was asked about comments made by the U.S. President Donald Trump against the Israeli president, who has yet to grant Netanyahu a pardon for all of his corruption charges. He tried to defend himself against that while not wanting to comment in a way that would upset the U.S. president. Another thing that I thought was very interesting was a new line coming out of the Israeli government, repeated by Netanyahu tonight, which is that Iran has its missile capabilities deep in the mountains, and that's why it's taking us time. Now, this is in stark contrast to what we heard in the first few days, which is that Israel had taken out much of the capabilities, many of the missile launchers. As Netanyahu was speaking, our phones rang with a new early warning about incoming missiles from Iran. These are the real issues that Israelis are asking of their leadership. Why do we still have a state of emergency? Why won't we have schools next week? Why are the communities in northern Israel, in the Galilee and Upper Galilee, many of whom are Palestinian Israeli communities that don't have public shelters, that don't have safe rooms in their homes? These communities are exposed. They're under fire. The Israeli military censors keeping a blackout, but they know that their life has been hell for the past week or so because the sirens do not stop, the alarms don't stop, and Netanyahu still insists he's changing the face of the Middle East and winning, while the latest poll, Adrian, says that he's losing 1 seat, according to the public opinion trends.
Nour, many thanks. Nour Odeh there, live in Ramallah in the occupied West Bank. Alex, for